5th Hour Radio Show.
Jimmy, let's go back to the beginning. When did you first realize you had this talent for singing?
Oh, about a year ago.
And what was that gave you the notion that you could sing a year ago?
People started emailing me like crazy and saying, "Oh, I love this song." It was back in high school. I didn't really know if I could sing or not, but I was the lead singer in the a cappella choir in my high school, and I said, "I don't know what I'm doing, but I get a good grade, so that's all right."
Do you remember the first time you had to get up in front of a crowd and perform? What was that experience like for you? Were you nervous, even though you knew you were a good singer?
Well, at that time, back when the first time I got in front of a crowd, I was excited, scared to death, of course, but we practiced, we rehearsed. The little band I was in rehearsed like every day, and every chance we got. We didn't even know if we'd ever make $1 or ever play in front of a crowd or not, but we just loved playing music, and just, we just even loved going to rehearsal, which I don't know any band that loves to go to rehearsal, but we did, and we did it every chance we get, whether we had to rehearse in somebody's kitchen or whatever,
Yeah, wherever you could, man.
It was really, it's right. It was really exciting, back in the day, when you get to play in front of a bunch of people. The first time we played at the Overton Park Shell here in Memphis, it's like it was kind of like a small version of a Hollywood Bowl. It was amazing. It was just it was packed with people, and you can fool a lot of people more than you can fool just a few people. So we must have fooled those guys pretty good. They gave us a good ovation.
Well, once you got your feet wet performing, did you know right away that was what you wanted to do for a living?
No, I thought it might last for a little while, might make a few dollars, but that's really not what I thought I'd end up doing for a living. I can't believe I've gone this long and been able to make a living in it.
Well, man, in your opinion, what do you think was your big break that solidified you making it in the music industry?
Well, I had a couple of albums. We signed with a manager who was managing a band called Black Oak, Arkansas, and Crocus.
I've heard of those bands.
Yeah, and we went on tour with them, and we really hadn't made it. We were driving down Sunset Boulevard, and we were looking at all the big billboards and stuff. We were making like $100 a piece a week, and we was looking at it. We made it.
How much of your vocal ability did you discover after you started singing? Started ripping into it, and you could tell, oh, wow, I didn't know I can even do this.
Yeah, I guess it was on into my career, back when we still didn't have a record deal at the time, and I realized that I guess I can sing. People seem to like it, so it was back when I was playing with a band called Target, and this was a long time ago, like in '76 or something. And we played these clubs around this little club around town, and every time we played there, and if there was a big concert in town, whoever played, anybody, the lead singers and everybody would come down to that club because that was a place to go to sit in with somebody who was really good. And so we kind of took pride in that. And it just happened. It just kind of happened. I had to learn how to sing. I wasn't able to sing when I first started. I didn't think. In fact, we would record a rehearsal, and I'd have to leave the room because I couldn't stand to hear my voice.
That's the same way with the show. I don't listen to the show because, oh my goodness, do I really sound like that?
Yeah, when we record an album, whenever I record an album, I don't listen to it for at least a few months. The finished product after we've been in the studio so long, I've sung it so many times. I wait a few months before I even listen to the record,
Yeah, I know how that goes. I don't want to overshadow your career with Cobra or whatever, but I really got turned on to Survivor about the time, when Rocky III came out. And, Dave Bickler was the original singer for Eye of the Tiger, but once he left the band and you joined, that's when Survivor kind of took on a whole new level. How did you get to be a part of Survivor?
Well, they called me up. I was with Cobra, of course, and when Cobra broke up, we were on Epic Records and Survivor. We had a mutual friend at Epic who was Survivor was with CBS, and they were affiliated. And we had a mutual friend, and when Dave left the band, he suggested that they call me. And so they gave me a call, and I really, at first, I didn't know if I wanted to do it or not. You know, I wasn't going to go do the audition, but my friends egged me on and said, "Oh, you should go do it. You should do it." So I went and did it, and I had never sung that high before in my life, you know. And so I go up there, you know, to the rehearsal in my cowboy boots and stuff, you know, and I think they had some other guys audition too, and I auditioned, and I went home, and I said, "Okay, that's over. I did it." And they called me back about a month later and said, "Hey, please come back up here. We're tired of auditioning all these." And so I got the gig about late 1983, I think.
You know, Survivor had a ton of hits after you joined the band, and there's been a few of the songs used in the Rocky films, you know, even after Rocky III, like Rocky IV with Burning Heart. And I've always been curious if that song was wrote for the film itself or if it was just another great Survivor song that they decided to use.
No, it was written for the film. You know, they were expecting a call from Stallone to see if he would ask us to do another song. And he did, and the song, so it was all planned out, you know, and they did to try to get as close to Eye of the Tiger as they could, but, you know, Eye of the Tiger, how you get past that, you know.
Yeah, it's a great song, man, but all your songs that you sing are good. As far as the songs that's in your repertoire, do you have any favorites, some that have a special meaning to you or have a cool story into how they came to be?
Well, one of my favorites is "I Can't Hold Back." It doesn't, you know, it's a light-hearted kind of meaning in the song, you know, just about your regular everyday life and love, you know. But when we did the video for "I Can't Hold Back," it was the last song we recorded on that album, and we did the video for it for MTV, and it just took off, man. It was like the ¡1 video for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe it, and that's where really we got a face for the people to look at, all the faces of the band, you know, because nobody really knew who the band, what the band looked like, or weren't familiar. But when MTV came along and we did that, things just took off, you know, especially after that video.
As far as writing music, how does that work for you? Is it the lyrics first, or are you a music first type of guy?
Well, both, really. You know, whichever. Hopefully the lyrics come first, because it's a lot easier to put music to lyrics than it is lyrics to music. You know, the music part, writing the music part of it is a fun part, you know, and writing the lyrics is the work part of it, unless you already have a subject idea in mind beforehand. The lyrics is like being in school, man, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's a little work, right? It's a little work.
It's a little work, yeah, and what's weird is when I was in high school, I would take English and we'd have the poetry part of the lesson, you know, and I hated poetry.
Did you have to get up in front of the class and recite the poem?
Yeah, and I had to get to write it yourself, you know, and I was a terrible poetry writer. People would laugh when I get up there.
Oh, yeah, man, that was the worst thing in high school, wasn't it? Having to get up in front of class and do a poem and have your classmates laugh at you.
Oh, God, yeah, because I was not good at it.
There was always that one kid that didn't learn the poem.
Was that you, Jimmy?
Oh, you know it. You know it. I didn't learn it. Now, there was a couple of poems that I did like, you know, that it just struck me, you know, but most of them, the teacher would ask us what they meant to me, and I would say, it doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah, what's the meaning behind that? What do you feel when you recite?
Well, I don't know what the guy was thinking when he wrote the poem. How am I supposed to know that?
Being a songwriter, though, have you ever wrote music for other people, or have you always written with you yourself performing it in mind?
No, I've written for Joe Walsh and several other people. Johnny Van Zant when he was doing his solo career, and several others. I can't remember who they are right now.
Yeah, and you also was with ZZ Top. You was a backup singer for them, right?
Yeah, I sung on every record that has background vocals on it. They didn't put my name on the records at that time, but they'll be the first to tell you that I sang all the parts that Billy didn't sing, except for maybe a couple that Dusty sang.
Man, dude, you've had an awesome career.
It was a lot of fun. I would have done ZZ Top for nothing just to do ZZ Top.
Me and Rob almost got thrown out of what kind of place is that? It's like a nature preserve where you can go in and look at the museum stuff, and they had these beaver pelts, and I grabbed one and bust into "Shop Dressed Man." and they didn't like that too much. But man, I thought, man,
They didn't like it.
no, I thought it was awesome.
Man, I wish I'd have seen that.
Oh man, it was embarrassing.
Well, hey man, listen, me and Rob almost get thrown out of everywhere.
And it's always because of Randy, you know.
Of course. That's
Yeah,
really
of course,
good.
man. So let's talk about some of the present things you got going on. What's on your plate coming up? Are you about to tour?
Yeah, we're getting ready to go out for a while. I'm going to Cancun in Mexico Saturday for about a week. Just do a thing for a friend of mine, and then I come back and Survivor goes out after that, and we do. Hopefully, we never stop. We all love playing live so much. You know, you gotta get tight again. You can rehearse till you're blue in the face, but playing live gigs is the best rehearsal there is, and it's a way to make your band really tight. And so we got a bunch of dates lined up coming up.
Yeah, I was getting ready to ask you how long it takes to get ready for a tour. I mean, it must be a lot that goes into it.
Well, I try not to get involved in that part of it, except for if we have a rehearsal. You know, cause all the equipment and all that stuff, you know, tweaking everything. I don't even pay attention to it because I don't have anything to carry on stage.
Now, do you still love rehearsing?
Well,
that's a loaded question, right?
kind of. Yeah, I kind of do, you know, but you know, we're doing the same songs that we've been doing for quite a while, you know.
So you never forget the lyrics, right?
I tell you, I never forget the lyrics except for one time.
Uh-oh.
We were playing in front of about 20,000 people, and they started off the song "I Can't Hold Back," and I didn't recognize it. I did not recognize the song. They even sang the background vocals. I never said one word the whole song. They just played, and nobody noticed.
Really?
But nobody booed. Nobody did anything. I just kind of shrugged my shoulders. I just didn't recognize the song. It just totally went mind blank, you know. And apparently the guys in the band never listened to me, never had me coming through their monitors because they didn't know they kept singing and playing. So now I know you don't even listen to me. You know?
Well, that's kind of an easy payday. You just stand up on stage and not say anything.
It was crazy, man. And I looked over to the side of the stage, and Kevin Cronin, the lead singer for REO Speedwagon, was laying on his back, kicking his feet in the air, laughing. And I just looked, there was a little help over here, man.
What's something our listeners might not know about Jimi Jamison? You got any hobbies, TV shows, man? Are you a skateboarder? Are you a skydiver? Something you enjoy doing on your downtime that really don't involve music?
Ping pong.
Really? Are you serious?
I love it.
We had a lady named Kim Gilbert. She is a national champion ping pong player on our show.
Wow.
I'm going to have to make sure she hears this interview and you saying that you love ping pong. She might want to take you on in a match.
Man, I would love it. She'd kill me, but I'd love it.
I'll make sure she hears that, and she might challenge you. And if you're ever out in L.A. or whatever.
What was her name again?
Kim Gilbert. Get on Facebook and type in Kim Gilbert. You'll find her.
Friend her on Facebook and write, "You want some?"
Will she know what I'm talking about?
oh, wait a minute. Don't write that. Don't write that. Don't write that.
Rob and Randy want me to ask you want some.
That's exactly right. She will know what you're talking about then. So is there a website or social media that people can go to get info about yourself and the tour dates and locations coming up?
They can go to survivormusic.com. And also I have my website, which is jimijamison.com. And I have a Facebook page, of course. You know, it's facebook.com/Jimi Jamison official page.
All right, buddy, man. You have a nice night, and I really appreciate talking to you.
Keep rocking, man.
Yeah.
Keep rocking.
I will. See you later.
All right, later, man. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
The 25th Hour Radio Show.